And joining me right now is the name you already know. It's Akash Kanjwani, CEO of Skyview Real Estate, and we also have Raj along with us. And this is the show where you get to know a lot about the real estate. And today's topic is about villas versus townhouses and apartments, and which is better and why. So Akash is the best person to tell you all about that. If you want to talk to us or if you want to WhatsApp us, it's 0586861003. And if you want to call us, it's 80081003. These are the numbers. And over to you, Akash. So let's kick off.
Good morning, Ronak. How are you doing?
I'm really good. How are you? Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem to you. And I think it's been blessed Ramadan. We have already crossed 12, 13 days of Ramadan. And we are slowly getting towards Eid.
Absolutely. And it just goes very fast, right?
Yes.
I think that this period there will be a lot of time that it'll take, but it just goes really fast.
And then you have the invites for iftar and suhoor.
Yes. Have you been going to any exciting ones?
I can't miss it. I mean, there are so many friends who invite for iftars, and you can't really say no to anyone. In fact, we have our Skyview iftar today.
Oh, okay.
So entire team of Skyview is going for iftar. We have it today. And also we are completing today almost 17 years to our company.
Congratulations. Well, so the great day for you to come and talk about it.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And I think what we have done in the last 17 years is we make sure that the person who's buying a property or buying a house for investment or for personal living gets the best deal or gets the best houses as per what they're looking for. And this is what we have been doing, and the journey with Talk FM has been fantastic. So
absolutely. And you know what, I'm presenting the show right now, but I've been listening to the show as well with when you and Neil are talking.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of takeaways that I have. I'm sure our listeners feel the same way.
Correct. So we have Sunny, we had Neil, and then all the presenters, which were so nice when we were talking to them. So everybody understands one part. So that buying property in Dubai is very interesting, and maybe you have some kind of questions or some kind of phobia that you might not be able to take that step of buying. And some people do have taken the step and gone ahead and bought it, and we just want to share the experience of those guys, what they did, what is wrong, how did they buy it, and how long did it take for them to get to a point where they have saved on the rent and started making some money out of investment out of the property.
Absolutely. And as a person who's been living here for the last 6 years, and thinking about this myself, I've a lot of times had questions, and trust me, when I go out in the market and ask people, there are always conflicting views. So, when I listen to your show, I get to know that there's a very decisive take on everything.
Well, the conflicting views is, again, you are going to talk to a broker or a developer which wants to give you your own stock. He is not there to give you a house. He is there to sell. And I think there are one thing about differentiate between Skyview and others is we don't want to just sell. We want to have a relationship with you.
Right.
There are so many people who have got their own houses with us, and then they have been so happy they have invited when there is a move-in party. And this is what we really like about being in the market. We want to get involved. We want to
cultivating relationships with your clients. Yeah.
And that makes us the repeat customers are quite high. However, we are not prone, we are also in the same market, so we have to go through the same cycle when the market is up and down. But we have learned and we have understood that the cycle is only when you are not prepared for a down market. You only assume that the market will keep on rising. You start investing on that belief that I will be buying a property today just because the person who has bought a friend of yours who made 100% on the property, I'm going to do the same. Not going to happen. You need to understand the reasons that he did it. You might have to be prepared for a worst and something which is, you can have a possibility of appreciation as well, for sure. But you need to be prepared on that. So that means you don't buy a property which is way over your budget. You don't being over optimistic. You don't buy a property which you can't afford, in short.
Yeah, and I guess when you talk to your clients, you tell them these things, right? That
first thing,
you have to be aware about these pitfalls as well.
So first thing, that a question that we ask from our clients is very simple. What is your budget? If he's not sure what my budget is, just tell us the property. So we start asking more questions like what do you do, what kind of job you're into, how long you're in Dubai, how much is your salary, and are you into business? What kind of business? So we understand the customer, and we have now quite a good experience on the person, that what kind of properties he can afford and what kind of properties he can't afford, and what is the reason for him to buy. So if a person is living in Dubai for last 10-20 years and he has not purchased a property, still living in a rented property, then you cannot just tell him, oh okay, go ahead and buy a property which is available in the market. You need to sit down, understand what is the reason he has not shifted. And a lot of people get attached to their rental houses as well.
One reason I can tell you right now is the fact that when people live in rent like me, and they're new in the market, they get a lot of these kind of reactions saying that, oh no, you know what, hold off. What if you buy a property and then you lose your job and you have to go back? What if you buy a property and you rent it and then tomorrow there is a time when people are not renting anymore?
See, the thing is, this is what in the last 9 weeks what we have discussed. First thing was that renting versus buying. No, this we clearly did a comparison study that how much rent are you paying and how much money you have wasted in last 8 to 9 years. So, you know, to be comfortable in a country, you need 2 to 3 years. You take 5 years. Okay, you be comfortable in a job, you be comfortable in your position and things. After 5 years, you should definitely start thinking about buying a property. Second, the golden visas. You lose a job, doesn't matter. Your property is your visa.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Because I have one, so I can. Okay, that's one point that I should really.
Yeah, because you have a property at all. You once you are on a property visa, whether it is an investor visa for 750,000 worth of property, or you are on a golden visa. In that case, you're your own sponsor. Only thing, you have a labor contract with your company,
Right.
which even if they terminate you, they will, or let's say you lose the job or you move on to something else, your visa doesn't get affected.
Absolutely, yes.
And nowadays, government understands that retaining talent is more important. So now you have so many incentives for this. You have job loss insurance, which is going on, which is very important, which gives you at least a comfortable 6 months time period that your basic salary is paid to you. You also have 6 months visa. If you're losing a job or if you're terminated, you have a 6 months visa to look for a job for a next
Right,
opportunity.
yeah.
And on top of that, property gives you a much more comfort level. So, I mean, next time if you don't agree with your boss, you don't have to say yes to him just because you might fear losing a job and going back to country. But you have your own job. You have your own visa. Yeah. So you're more comfortable on that. And I'm not saying that visa is the reason that you should buy a property. You should buy a property for appreciation. You should buy a property for saving on the rental that you're paying. You should also buy a property for simple reason it gives you comfort to stay in this country, and to even if you move on from this, you can always put it on rental returns. So the returns are pretty amazing. Normally, all the developed countries, a normal rental return is anywhere between 2 to 3%. 3.5% is considered way good. Dubai gives you average 6% rental returns on a property, and 6% if you do a furnished short-term rental and give it on Airbnb, it goes anywhere between 12 to 15%.
Yeah, Airbnb is the other thing. Like, a lot of people don't realize that traditionally when you think that there's also one big option for you to do that.
Correct.
And which will fetch you more returns.
Fetch you more return, give you more control over the property. So when you rent it annually, you need to have an annual contract. You cannot ask the tenant to move out. You cannot increase the rent more than the RERA index. But when you're in a short-term rental, there is no contract. So that's only the period that you're renting it to him. So let's say you've rented it for 3 days, 1 week, 10 days, 1 month. That is the rent. You can always fluctuate the rent as per the market condition, as per your requirement. And you can also use the property or sell the property in a much more comfortable way than you do it in a long-term rental. But however, you need to understand, there are specialist companies which do this. Why they do this? Because the rate fluctuation is very high. So you don't want to keep your property vacant. Even a single day if your property is vacant, that means you're losing the rent.
You're losing money.
So you need specialized guys who knows the market rate every day. So I mean, let's look at it. We go for a vacation, we look for hotels internationally, and then when we look for hotels, we look only for one simple thing, which is the cheapest in the location that we prefer.
Right.
So the cheapest, in order to be the cheapest, the person needs to be experienced guy. You're competing with hotels who have been doing it traditionally. Okay, and they have a team behind who are monitoring the rates every second, and they're fluctuating the rate compared to what is happening. So you need a specialist in order to get the maximum return, and the specialist can charge you anywhere between 20%, 15 to 20% of the revenue which is a good thing. They manage everything for you, and then all you have to do is make sure that you have a right person to work with, because it needs to be trusted. He needs to tell you a proper report every month, that what is rented, what is vacant, and all those things, and the money is credited to your. So, and you should never do a subletting contract. So you shouldn't let someone, a holiday home company, until unless you have proper background check of that company.
Okay.
So you cannot rent out a company X amount for a year and then allow him to sublet on your basis, because he makes maximum profit. You get a certain amount which is fixed, but it could be a situation that he is paying you in 4 checks, 5 checks, and then he is not able to pay you on time, because he didn't
And
able.
also, you don't know who's it's
Yes.
not directly knowing the occupant of the house.
Yeah, so also you need to make sure that he's actually doing a short-term rental, not a subletting, like a long-term rental with someone. So let's say he doesn't pay you and he has collected the money, so you could be in a soup. So it is very, very important. You need to do a background check on the holiday home company.
Right.
And I prefer a revenue share model with a good holiday company over the annual rental, because if you're doing an annual rental with a holiday home company, you rather do it yourself and give it to someone which is a known tenant.
Okay.
Because the terms and condition for an annual rent is exactly the same. You cannot increase the rent. You cannot ask the holiday home company to move out before a year's notice. And then this holiday home company is managing your house, so he's making extra money on your house. Rather than that, you do it yourself. And that's what we encourage people.
Okay.
We sit down with them, we understand the thing, and what makes people very easy is the mortgage which is available in there.
Right.
So a lot of people have been asking over the period of time the mortgages. So we have, I got today Raj with me. Raj is our mortgage expert. He has been doing it for a long time now. So he has worked with top banks earlier, and now he is individually doing with us the mortgages for various banks. So we don't limit you to one particular bank or one particular product. He has wide variety of mortgages available.
Okay.
And Raj, welcome.
Akash, over to you, because we have Raj as well.
Yes, so thank you so much, and so sorry for that disturbance. We forgot Fen Sinatra in between. He is gonna come, yeah.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
you got so carried away. Talking about it.
All right. So before the break, we were talking about Raj, basically asking him about the minimum salary, which is what everybody has in mind. So Raj, could you explain us what's the minimum salary that is a criteria which a person can look like to get a mortgage?
Yeah, definitely, Akash. Thank you for asking this question. This is a very unique question and a basic question that everybody has asked in their mind. So, see, in Dubai, we have different kind of unique requirement by the different bank and different kind of client situations. Also, people can be like salaried, self-employed, resident, non-resident. So, when we talk about the minimum salary criteria for salaried applicant, it's like starting from 10,000 dirham minimum.
So
Yes.
if a person has a 10,000 dirham salary, he can
be
start
eligible.
thinking
Yes, he
about
can be
getting.
eligible for to obtain a mortgage and buy a property. Then some bank have minimum requirement 12,000 dirham, and most of the bank have 15,000 dirham. But people earning even 10,000 dirham starting salary, they are eligible for mortgage. They can think of buying property in UAE.
So then what are the people, the first question that again as a sales guy that we get is what is the kind of EMI or what is the kind of interest that I have to pay currently? Because we all have been hearing news that interests are going up.
Yeah.
So what kind of interest is there, and is there any offers that person can get while buying a property of this?
See, nowadays interests are definitely up in the market. If we see the comparison of last 2-3 years, nowadays interest are on the higher side, peak side. But still, it's in controllable stage. If we can expect our interest approximate 5% reducing, 5% you can get lock-in for 2 to 3 in some bank. Some bank can even lock your interest for 5.5% in for 5 years. And if you want to talk about variable rate, because there are some people they are more aware about the global financial situation, so they think the pricing can come down in future. So they don't want to lock in for longer period.
Right.
They always prefer for variable rate. So in variable rate, you can start from 0.99% plus 3 month respective EBOR.
Yeah.
EBOR technical term. So I'm not sure maybe many people will aware
Yeah,
of
so
it. Yeah.
EBOR is interbank rate, which is what is
It's a cost of borrowing for the bank. Plus
Yeah.
they add their margin, which is 0.99%, approximate 1%.
That's how they arrive at the figure.
So that's all. So
Correct.
EBOR is what it fluctuates a lot. It fluctuates as per the central bank policies.
Okay.
And once the central bank increases the price, EBOR goes up. Central bank reduces the price of EBOR. So bank has a fixed profit margin, which is around 1%, and which can also vary from bank to bank. So certain banks can give it 0.79. Certain banks come up with a very rare offers of 0.49. And again, it depends on the situation. Normally, what we have seen during the year-end closure, we have the maximum number of offers because the bank understands that there is funds available to them and they want to close their books on a higher note. So that's the time period that you have the maximum offers which come out. However, it also depends on demand and supply. So currently, the demand is quite high. So the banks literally are doing business, by sitting on a desk. So the banks are really flooded with inquiries.
There's a lot of demand for borrowing.
A lot of demand for borrowing.
For resident and non-resident people also different part of the world. They are planning to buy property in UAE. They need property as a base in UAE. So they also get mortgage. So there is different demand from all the sides.
You mean you can actually apply for a mortgage when you're not in the country?
Exactly. Yes.
So even a non-resident can get a mortgage, and this is what I need to clear a lot of misconceptions for people.
Okay.
So 50% mortgage you can easily get for a non-resident, and you can stretch it a little bit higher for another 10% more, so 60%, provided your background, and then that's some subject to approval. But 50% generally,
You can do this remotely, like.
Yeah, so basically the pre-approval is remotely, but in order to buy the property and
just get the process.
Yes.
So basically, you can ensure your approval situation. You know your eligibility and entitlement. Then you come in Dubai, search the property, and do the transaction.
So basically,
Without zeroing down on the property, also you can, like.
so it's a pre-approval. Basically, if you wanna have a budget in your mind, you know that I wanna buy a property, and pre-approval gives you a lot of advantage. Basically, so you've seen the property, you have shown it to your wife, you have shown it to your mother, you have done video conference with your family, done everything is done. You go to a bank and bank says, sorry, you're not even eligible for this.
Oh, yeah, right.
So before you start buying a property and start thinking about a property, just give us a call on 05028593321. We understand your eligibility. Raj sit down with every customer, ask the bank documents, whether you're employed, self-employed, whether you're non-resident, and then based on that, we tell you the budget that or the value that you will be getting from the bank as a mortgage, and then and the percentage. So let's say if you're getting, your eligibility is 1 million and you get 80% LTV, so you know that you can buy a property of around 1.25, 1.3 million approximately.
Okay.
And then if you're 50% eligible and you're getting 1 million, so you can buy a property till 2 million, but you need to have that 1 million cash with you.
Okay, your own
Cash.
contribution, yeah.
Correct.
What is LTV, by the way?
So loan to value ratio. So basically, let's say your property is 1 million and you're only getting 50%, so you will only get 500,000.
Okay.
So your limitations is on LTV, which is loan to value ratio. It is also on the eligibility of your income. So whether how much value of the property you're getting is your income, and is on the statements and the, so if you're self-employed, you need to have a attested statement. This is my next question.
Okay.
So Raj, the difference between self-employed and salaried. So I think there is a different requirement. The salaried person is we're talking about 6 months in a continuous in a job.
6 months continuous job. Person has to be a confirmed employment under the present job, or even if you're not confirmed employed, maybe you have been working for this present company, a new employment, and then you have previous track record. Still, you are eligible for the borrowing based on your salary, other criteria. And for self-employed, we have different unique requirement because every bank had different kind of income parameter for self-employed.
Correct.
Okay. Because for salaried, actually, you know what is your salary, so this is justified salary. You can see your bank statement.
Yeah, it's
but for
black and white.
Black and white, yeah. For businessman, a different gray area because you know your income, but bank cannot justify your income, or you cannot justify income to the bank.
Right.
So different bank
So self-employed people, it varies, right? 1 month might be great, the other month.
So they look at 6 months, 2 years bank statement, and they need audited finance for 2 years for self-employed.
Okay.
And generally self-employed are not looking for 85% mortgage. They are looking mostly, what I've seen, say self-employed go for 50-60%, and they have the extra cash which is available.
Okay.
And we will come back after the break. We will discuss more about the difference between when we're talking about villas and townhouses and everything, so you understand what price bracket falls for villas, what price bracket falls for townhouses, what price bracket falls for apartments, and then you can decide what is the cash that you have available and what is the bank mortgage that you can get it.
Absolutely. And also, if just before we slip into the break, I wanted to check with you, over here also with the banks, do you have like fixed interest rate and variable?
So this is what he was telling about. So when we have a fixed interest rate for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that's the offer that the bank gives you.
Right.
Otherwise, there is nothing. Lifetime fixed interest rates are not a product that has been offered in UAE. At least nothing that I am
Okay.
come across.
Like in India, we have like those
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
instruments.
Yeah, but then even in India, they tell you fixed, but then there is always a certain benchmark that it is given. So if it is goes central bank policy goes between this and that, there's a gray area always to fix it up,
Which is in the fine print.
which is in the fine print. So here the banks are much more open, much more transparent in terms of dealing. So they tell you fix for 5 years, and they stay fixed for 5 years. But however, the offers, right now everybody expects the mortgage rate to start coming down by end of 2023, 2024. So I don't know how experimental are you, or how much of a risk taker a person is, that you can look for a fix for 1 year or 2 years and then wait for market, which is how's the market going.
Yeah.
And then based on that you can take a call that
You can choose, right, what you want.
Yes.
And then people like yourself can guide.
yeah,
buyers.
basically it's a supermarket. You can definitely choose. There are multiple banks available. Each bank has a multiple product available.
Okay.
So you don't have to be stuck with one
But
thing.
you need to have an expert guiding you, right? Like, I mean,
Yes, yes.
When they go to a real estate broker like yourself, they should get all those information, not just about which property is good.
Yeah, and also that's the reason we have someone like Raj with us. So
Right.
when we have Raj, we talk about properties. We have a basic knowledge about interest and mortgages, but in-depth knowledge and technical knowledge, someone can sit with Raj and make him understand. And he is very partial about who's buying a property and who's not buying a property, because his job is not to sell a property. That's our job. Once the property is liked, once the deal is done, his job to get you the right product. But before anything, you need to have a pre-approval if you're looking for mortgage. It gives you a comfort area to buy a loan. And based on that, so if you know this is the mortgage I have, this is the EMI I'll be paying on this kind of money, and this is the value of the property that I should be looking, things become very easy. And especially in this market where properties don't last over a week.
Yeah, they just go sell so fast.
They're very fast. So the number of transactions that we are seeing every day, and every day it is an interesting story that we come across. So
Of course, we would like to listen into a couple of them when we come back. But for now, stay tuned. We will continue to have Raj and the CEO of Skyview Real Estate, Akash Kanjwani, with us. You can get in touch with them on 050-285-9321. Akash Kanjwani, the CEO of Skyview Real Estate, and Raj, and you can call them on 050-285-9321. That's their number. They're standing by right now to answer all your queries. But Akash, over to you to take the conversation forward over the differences between villas, apartments, and townhouses in terms of sizes, amenities, prices in Dubai.
yes, so a lot of people, when they are taking the step, they have this doubt. Now, first thing that person will say, oh, is the budget. Apartments are cheaper, but you will not, believe it that some apartments are also very high price range. So one of the highest value transaction which has happened was an apartment, a penthouse in Bulgari Resorts, which was Lighthouse by Bulgari, and this was sold for around 430 million. But by one investor.
Really?
It's a
Do
penthouse.
you know the name?
I wish. I mean, if I know, I cannot say it on the air. So he'll kill me. I don't want to lose that kind of client. But it's not something that we have done. But we have sold some high-end properties, which is around more than 100 million. And these kind of customers, they are coming to Dubai. They're flocking to Dubai for only one reason: the safety, the comfort. So if they are being here.
Now even the weather, I suppose, is just getting better and better. I don't know.
Yes, but let's not jinx it, because you all know what will happen, once we lose that. But I think, weather apart, we have learned to live with that heat.
Yeah.
We know the air
No, but
conditions.
it's gotten better over the years. You have to admit.
Yes. It's definitely got better, and it has got, and also the facilities that are there. So earlier, you talk about April start, and you still have people on the beach, which was impossible.
Yeah.
You were still doing outdoors. So much outdoor restaurants are there,
Right.
and people are getting used to it. In fact, if you go in Europe during January, it is impossible to walk or go on a beach, but you have here people always using and
Of
your
course, like you cannot even compare that. Like it's the sunlight and the
Yes.
brightness.
It's amazing. And then you have this temperature controlled pools. You have communities like Tilal Al Gha, which are developing artificial islands and artificial lagoon with a private beach. It's something far, almost 20 kilometers from the beach, from the shoreline, but they still give you a beach kind of feel with a pure water which you can swim, and then white sandy beaches. You have District 1, similar kind of concept. So Dubai properties is very interesting. Only thing is you don't have to shut your eyes and don't say, oh, there is properties to go down. Yes, properties go down, but trust me, the person who got the property in 2002, go and talk to him. he will tell you the advantage that he had. Last 20 years, he has owned the property. He could have got the property for maybe, let's say, if you bought it in Springs, a 2-bedroom townhouse would have been for 400,000. Till today, it is 2.1 million. And in 20 years, he has got a rent which is unbelievable.
So, what's the difference between townhouse and apartment?
So let's go with very technical details since we have a limited time over here. So let's say apartments, you are it's a block of building which you share the land with multiple owners of that. You don't own the land 100% yourself. You are just part of the landlord owners association of that particular building. The owners in that building own a part of that land. However, that land is you cannot take a call on itself.
Right.
Your service charges are different. So when it comes to townhouses and villas, the plot of land is yours.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the
main
main difference. So in Singapore, there is a very term which is used for these kind of properties. It's called landed properties. So the land is yours. You're technically building a land.
That's like totally like idiot proof, like.
Yes.
Properties.
Yes. So this is your 100%. You own that land. But having said that, in a building also you own a land, but as a joint owner with other owners in the community, and your ratio is depending on the size of your apartment.
Okay. And the land you own is in the form of the apartment. Okay.
Yes. So it's a part of the land. So let's say the bigger the apartment, the bigger share you have in that right. particular land. In a villa or a townhouses, even though you own a land, you cannot just drop down your villa or break your villa and start construction of a new villa. You still have to go through the community rules and regulations which are there, and the FAR or a design language what has been followed by the developer. However, you can do modifications much more easily in a villa or this thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And you have that freedom.
You have that freedom. And yeah.
So, sorry, do you want to say something?
Yeah, so I wanted to just say, one of the biggest differences, again, the safety and security. So Dubai being the safest country in the world, you don't really have to talk about it all the time. Everybody knows it. And it's a trend to leave your laptops and mobile and to test.
We've all done that.
Yeah, so you have done that. But the point is, what I need to understand, that even though you might have a certain feel that I want to have something more private. So apartments are a bit more secure. Because you have a security which is always monitoring your elevator, who's coming, who's not.
And there's also safety in numbers, right?
Safety in numbers. And then it's easier to maintain inside the apartment because you don't, the villas, you really need to help. If you're a big villa, then you need to have a help.
Absolutely.
So, but in terms of service charges, the villas and townhouses are much cheaper in terms of service charges. So let me give you a brief up. Springs, which is in very close to Sheikh Zayed Road, Springs has a service charges of around 2.2 dirham per square feet annually. And in terms of Greens, which is right next to it, and which is also an older community like this, it has a per square feet service charges of around 12 dirham per square feet.
So much difference.
So in a building, you don't only have the elevator, you have the common area, so electricity for that. Right. You have AC running over there. You have maintenance, the cleaning of the common areas, housekeeping, the parkings, which is underground. So everything in a building, it is expensive.
Right.
And however, there is owners association which is there. So if you're owning an apartment and then you go to a owners association, which you are part of the owners association, you can always ask a breakup of where this money has been spent.
Right.
So you understand where the money is spent. And you have a control also. So you don't like a certain security or services of a certain security company, you can raise a complaint, you can ask them to change it. You don't like a certain housekeeping or a facility management company, you can change it. In terms of housekeeping, facility management, these expenses are not there in a villa or a townhouse.
Right.
So only thing is security, and then it's a regular maintenance.
A lot of these community, gated communities, they also are having villas and they are pretty secure as well. So
yes. So again, as well as
expensive on the higher side. But
yes, I mean it's a little bit more secure in an apartment because it's very difficult for someone to drop in by. But when a gated community also, so it's just one security guard which is there, which is monitoring.
And then there's a whole fencing in the wall.
And then that's.
But in Dubai again, like you said,
I mean that's the whole point. So if you're looking particularly, and then again is the lifestyle. So no matter how good your villa is, the cheapest villa will not have a view of a penthouse or a building. So if you're looking for a view to kill, if you want to be someone,
balcony, like a huge,
yes, yeah.
can sit
So
and enjoy the breeze.
sit and enjoy the breeze at least 6 months of the year. Sit down and look for the view, the sea view. And Dubai has such a big skyscrapers, such large number of skyscrapers. So you want to be somewhere around about 30 floor and or maybe above 100 floors. It's possible in Dubai. You want to have that selfie during the fog season. When you're above the clouds and you feel that. That's only going to be in this thing. However, the villas and communities, it's again your personal lifestyle. It goes with.
Absolutely, yeah. It all boils down to that.
Then
Definitely.
and then so if you are someone who's not here in Dubai for a longer period of time, you're traveling between you're here, so apartment makes a better sense for you, because when you're back, no matter what, no matter how good you seal your villas, it will get dirtier.
Absolutely.
Compared
so
to-
maintenance is always going to be a challenge.
So internal maintenance is something that you need to be challenged about. Rate per square feet wise, let's say townhouses and villas tend to be little cheaper in terms of rate per square feet, but they tend to be a little bit more expensive because your land value comes into the picture.
Right.
So overall price could be a little bit more, but you can get more value for money. So in terms of square feet, you can get a 6,000 square feet villa starting from around 4.5 or 5 million onwards. But if you took for a 6,000 square feet apartment, no matter where in Dubai you want to look at for, it will be not less than 2,000 to 3,000 dirham per square feet.
My God, that's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference.
We'll slip into this short break, and when we come back in the last leg of the show, we'll of course talk about the community of the week, and also
A bit more about mortgages.
a bit more about mortgages, and very quickly if you can also touch upon the ROIs on
Yes.
villas and apartments.
Correct.
Good morning, this is Talk Real Estate with me and with the CEO of Skyview Real Estate, Akash Kanjwani. So over to you for the final leg of the show.
So basically, as we compared the ownership of the properties between apartments, townhouses, and villas,
Right.
there is also one important thing to consider. It's the ROI, the return of investment that you can get on these three. So you're technically looking at apartments to give you a higher rental returns. No matter which kind of apartment it is there, because the factors are like security, less maintenance, less internal maintenance that you have to pay, and villas, they tend to give you a less rental returns, and apartments also has an option to put it on a holiday home. However, putting a villa on a holiday home will be a too logistic issue. In fact,
Right.
except for areas like Palm, which sometimes are given as a holiday home to celebrities internationally, and they fetch you a much higher price than anything. But a villa on a short-term holiday home is always very difficult. You're talking about something which is beyond the point. So if you're looking for buying a property right now as an investment, then you need to consider rental return is you need to consider apartments. And if you're looking to buy a property for personal living rather than investment, then you should consider other factors like what is your lifestyle, what kind of life you prefer, what kind of location you prefer,
Right.
and then take a call on that. Budget-wise, you need to understand townhouses will be starting. So we are talking about 3-bedroom across all the three segments. Let me put it. So 3-bedroom apartment, you have various choices like JVC, which you can get a 3-bedroom apartment anywhere between 1.5 million to 2 million onwards.
Okay.
And like Marina and downtown, a 3-bedroom apartment in Marina will be anywhere between 3.8 to 6.1, depending on what building and what view you're getting. In downtown, you're looking at average price starting from around 4.5 million, goes all the way till 7.2 million for a 3-bedroom apartment. Let's come to townhouses then. Townhouses, the cheapest 3-bedroom townhouse, you can get it in Damak Hills 2, which is around 1.1 million. Directly from developer. You can also get an average price closer towards the city, around 1.6 million to 1.7 million onwards, a 3-bedroom townhouse. And if you're going for a villa, which you don't want to share your walls with anyone, with your neighbors, you just want your
Exclusivity.
and a bigger plot and everything. So the cheapest 3-bedroom villa that you can buy is in Villa Nova. You can buy something similar for 2.8, 2.9 million onwards. That's the cheapest independent villa that you can buy it. And all three have a different kind of lifestyle. All three gives you a different kind of one way of making money, saving money. So basically you save on service charges, but you pay extra on maintaining.
All right. Fine. So before we close the show, just last bit on community of the week.
Yes, this is one segment which is there. So since we were talking about, I wanted to talk about one community which is very close to everything, which you can get all the three options, is again JVC. So
Okay.
Jumeirah Village Circle you have apartments in the community. You have townhouses which is coming in the community. Townhouses can be 2 and 3 bedroom. So if you like that lifestyle, and you have independent villas as well. So you can buy a land. You can also construct your own villa.
Yeah.
Even though the lands are becoming less and less, there must be very few remaining. But you can. So you have all the three choices, and that's the only community in Dubai which gives you apartment, townhouse, and a villas in a single community. Then you have your mall, you have your petrol pump, you have
Also connectivity and
the connectivity. Yeah. So JVC of the week. When we are talking about all three comparisons, JVC is the only week that we can. And if you're looking for a mortgage, and a lot of people have asked us that, what is if there is any Islamic product. So Raj, quickly, because we don't have a time.
Yeah, so see, definitely all the banks are offering Islamic product and conventional mortgage as well. So it's upon individual's choice, because some people, because they have provision of paying interest in some personal beliefs. So all the banks have compliant mortgage options of Islamic finance with Sharia compliant options, and conventional mortgage definitely. So it's an individual choice.
So as we said, there are a lot of products available for mortgages, and for any of this, apartments, villas, and townhouses, anything that you want to buy, just give us a call on 050-2859-321. We will give you options for all the three. We will guide you with the budget. We will guide you with the location. And then if you're looking for mortgage, Raj is there to help you around for the mortgages, and we will study your case on and then provide you the mortgage what is available with this.
Absolutely. I guess that is the right thing to do, to get to the experts and get the right information before you make, because these decisions are, for most people, they are once or twice in a lifetime kind of decisions.
Correct.
So you really need to know where you are getting it from and who you are approaching for that. So thank you so much, Akash, for joining us once again today. Congratulations on the completion of 17 years of your business. And Raj, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. See you next week. Don't forget to tune in. Next week, we are doing a small segment where I'm going to transparently speak about hidden charges of buying a property. So we're going to talk about service charges, transfer fees, mortgages fees, everything. So if you're looking for that, let's tune in next week with us.
Absolutely. Next week on Talk Real Estate, right here on Talk 100.3. Stay tuned.